like to thank Will first for putting this together and inviting me to come. And I want to thank Bijou for the walk. He and I got lost. He went in to get a drink of water. I bent over to pick up my dog's poop. We looked up and y'all were gone. But we had a nice conversation. And I'm going to start with a song called The Second Hand. I like to start with this one. Although it kind of feels like the walk and the being present and being tied into what's going on around you probably already did that for you. But this is just my reminder to be right here, right now. Don't think about the drive I had on the way in or what the drive is going to be like on the way home. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. All right. Let me know if you can't. I thought I had time to kill. It was a slow and steady death. That's the trouble with my free will. It leaves me gasping for my last breath. How I procrastinate. I could always let it slide. I hope it isn't too late to change course before it all collides. Hold a hand out. Toss out a few seeds. Stop trying to figure out which birds I'm gonna feed. Already living in the promised land. The clock is ticking. God is in the second hand. Everything changes, and it changes everything. It's been a nuclear winter, and I'm ready for the spring. But I'm like a glacier. My progress has been slow. Now I'm busting up the bedrock till something melts the snow. Hold a hand out. Toss out a few seeds. Stop trying to figure out which birds I'm gonna feed. Already living in the promised land. The clock is ticking. God is in the second hand. In the second hand. Time is water covering the planet. It's the oceans cutting through the granite. Like the tide, it never stops. But if I'm gonna savor every single drop, I better hold a hand out. Toss out a few seeds. Stop trying to figure out which birds I'm gonna feed. Already living in the promised land. The clock is ticking. God is in the second hand. In the second hand. In the second hand. Welcome, y'all. So, this is kind of an old song. I wrote this song for my niece when she was about 6 years old. She had just lost her first tooth, and she said, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I've had this tooth my whole life. And, so that, I knew how that felt. I bet by the end of the next song that I play, you guys will realize that I don't let go of anything gracefully at all. And so I was about to give her some advice about letting go, and it felt so disingenuous, you know? And so I wrote her a song because that's how I process, and that's what I do, and also it's cheaper than buying a present. And I played it for her. You know, a lot of times 6-year-olds, they haven't learned how to lie to spare your feelings yet. So when you ask them what they think about something, they just tell you. And I did that. I said, Kate, what'd you think of that? I played the song and said, what'd you think of that song I just wrote for you? And she said, I like it. It's okay. And then she said, I thought we were supposed to get cash. So then I had to write her songs about disappointment and expectations. This is the first of a trilogy. It's called Baby Teeth. You're such a silly girl, such a wise old woman. You think you can fix this world with rubber bands and bubble gum. You're gonna see it all from your high-top tennis shoes. Days when you're in the pink, days in your skinned up blue. Got some worn out blues. Sometimes it hurts to grow, sometimes it's such a relief. When you gotta give up what you got to get what you need. Those are just your baby teeth. Those are just your baby teeth. Those are just your baby teeth. You've got some big blue eyes, they don't miss a thing. You're known for your smart mouth and a smile like butterfly wings. You've got a way with words, you got your song and dance. You could wear your party dress, you could wear your camouflage pants. Yeah, you know to wear the pants. 'Cause you've got a heart of gold, shines just like a sunny day. Save a little bit for yourself, don't give it all away. 'Cause sometimes it hurts to grow, sometimes it's such a relief. When you gotta give up what you got to get what you need. Those are just your baby teeth. 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 You're the queen of all you see, ruled on high from your beanbag chair. No flowers on the wall, you got the dirt and the flowers right in your hair. Your hair. Sometimes it hurts to grow, sometimes it's such a relief. When you gotta give up what you got to get what you need. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it loose, sometimes it gets knocked clean out. Making room for a brand new tooth and that little bitty hole in your mouth. Those are just your baby teeth. 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 Baby teeth. Baby teeth. Your baby teeth. Thanks, y'all. All right, well, I'm going to play one more, and then I'm going to invite Will to come up here and play some songs he's never heard before. So, the fun begins. When we were talking about this, he was like, you know, do you want to send me some songs? And I was like, nah. I believe in you. So, this is a song I wrote with Wikipedia, of all people. That's right. It keeps the royalty payments down.
Yeah.
I don't have to split my money with Wikipedia. It's called Diagnostic Heart. I have a diagnostic heart, holding analytic love. I see the symptoms, read the charts, sterile hands and rubber gloves. Been too long in quarantine, and I need some intensive care. Disconnect me from machines. Let's have a messy love affair. This terminal immunity from your infectious laughter. It's a patient kind of privacy that kills happy ever after. I beg, do not resuscitate. And I didn't want your life support, but your heart didn't hesitate to heal my diagnostic heart. According to Hippocrates, first do no harm. Casual affairs yield casualties. The first to go, my diagnostic heart. A miracle, a paradox. It takes two different heartbeats, kinda like a pair of socks will warm a pair of cold feet. And circulation is the key, and pressure builds and tears apart. A surge right through my circuitry, bypass my diagnostic heart. According to Hippocrates, first do no harm. Casual affairs yield casualties. The first to go, my diagnostic heart. The first to go, my diagnostic heart. What do you think, Will?
All right. You got more like that? I have a violin and viola.
Oh, sweet.
So
Okay.
the viola.
Well, you want to just tell your keys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keys, yeah.
All right.
But if you have something like a ballad,
something ballady.
Not for this one, but
oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
The viola is great for those. Yeah.
Like a soft finger picky thing.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the key of the A?
A is great.
Okay.
It's my favorite key. In this gray, we have one microphone.
Hey, do you need to be on? You want to be on? You want me to get that case out of the way?
You're fine. Yeah, great.
In case you start hopping around.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's make sure I'm in tune here.
So there's my E. There's my A. And I'm in an open G too. Okay, so this song is called Upon Reentry, and this is kind of an older tune. I wrote this right after the Columbia Space Shuttle was on its way home, and if you guys remember, you know, they didn't make it home. They hit our atmosphere, and there was problems with the tiles. You guys remember that? But they were close enough to being home that we could all see that. You know, which was really shocking because I always reserve, you know, things that happen in outer space are not going to be something that I'm going to see happen from my, you know, front steps. Yeah. But they were almost home, you know, and coincidentally, or maybe not, this was also right around the time that we started our war in Afghanistan, 2003 when we started, and they were the Dixie Chicks back then. They were the Chicks, and they had said a comment about President Bush, and they also kind of got blown out of the sky. So, you know, I was just thinking about those two things and how, like, I was horrified, and also I couldn't look away from either one of those things, you know? So here we go. You might hear the song and think that has nothing to do with the space shuttle or the Dixie Chicks. It's okay. We strive to fly so high, find that home up in the sky. Along the ride, you live and learn. Coming home, a safe return upon re-entry. Miles away from home, out of touch and drifting all alone. Everyone just waits for your next move. Everyone is looking up at you upon re-entry. Lighting up the universe. Have you forgotten who you were before you were getting there. It took all you had. You didn't leave enough to even get you back. But what goes up, it surely must come down. You hit hard on hallowed ground upon re-entry. A star lighting up the universe. Have you forgotten who you were before you were a star? No, sorry. A star defying all gravity. When you're falling, everyone can see that you were a star. Everyone can see that you were a star. Wow. Have you heard that? Yeah. That was beautiful. All right. So could you guys hear him okay, even though I was kind of closer to the mic and it was all good?
It
Okay.
gets through there, right? Yeah.
Especially the solo.
It projects.
Yeah. Susan, you can even back up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's picking up plenty of your guitar.
Okay, good.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna raise it up a little bit.
I'll tell you.
You want to hear vocals more? A little bit more, do you think?
I think it sounds
Think it's
wrong.
good? I think it sounds good too.
What does it sound
Yeah.
like to the people back there?
You can hear the lyrics, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing to be able to like catch it,
Yeah.
but not have it right in your face.
Right?
It's
Isn't
pretty
that
cool.
nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like freedom.
It's like freedom.
It's like freedom.
You know what? I was just thinking that because what it means is I'm not plugged in and I can just walk right over here and go, hey, Joanna,
Yeah.
would you hand me my tea?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's the ultimate freedom.
That is so.
Unplugged. It's really unplugged.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So good. Fun. Are you still live?
All right. Well.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna play a song called "Christmas in Houston," and it's even cooler because so this is my friend Jennifer Cook that's sitting over here at the merchandise table, and she's one of my dearest friends. We met in the smoking section at Amarillo College. It's the one good thing that came out of me smoking, and so I wrote this song for her the same time that I was moving up to Montana to go to school to be a forest ranger. We both lived in Amarillo. She was going to Houston to be I'm not sure what you thought you were going to be, Jen.
Merch gal.
But I would call her and I'd say, hey, what's new? And she'd say, well, I've changed majors. And then I'd call her again and she'd be like, well, I'm living in a different apartment now. And then I'd call her and she'd say, yeah, I'm going to the university. No, I'm not going to St. And I expected to call her up one time and she'd say, yeah, my fingerprints are different now. I've changed my chromosomes. There was always something that was in motion with Jennifer. And that is true today as much as ever. And I love that. Get out of Houston by Christmas. It's at the her pants hanging down, down. Keeping secrets and keeping score. I don't see her around here that much anymore. What's she been doing with her time? Certain as though she's committed a crime. She is tired of cat and mouse. She is tired of playing house. She don't need a new job. She don't need a new man. She's just trying to do the best that she can on her way out of town. She'll go quietly. Couple years of school under her belt didn't teach her to play with the hand she'd been dealt. Out with the old and with the new. A fresh deck of cards, another round or two. And she is tired of cat and mouse. She is tired of playing house. She don't need a new job. She don't need a new man. She's just trying to do the best that she can on her way out of town. She'll go quietly. Call her a gun for hire. Oh yeah, let me give it space for that. Ah. Then you could call her a gun for hire. She's got plenty of ammo and she's ready to fire. She starts wars, she keeps the peace. She could be the bad guy, she could be the police. She is tired of cat and mouse. She is tired of playing house. She don't need a new job. She don't need a new man. She's just trying to do the best that she can. She is tired of playing ball. She's tired of being tired at all. She is tired. She is tired. She is so sick and tired. She would ask for some help, but it's never free. On her way out of town, she'll go quietly. She'll go quietly, Did anybody record that? Okay, good. Oh, you are? Okay. Whew, okay, that was really good. Okay. Okay, how about I play one on the banjo?
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, I told you we got lost on the walk, so I didn't get to hear Lori play. Is she still here? Okay, good.
She is.
So I'm going to play one on the banjo, and then
Lori's-
I'm going to step aside and get to hear a song or two. Is that
Yes.
cool, Lori? Okay. I do want to say thanks, Bijou. I think you might have been away when I told everybody that we got lost together. But I want to thank you. You know, when we were walking together, I was carrying a bag of dog poop with me the whole time. And he didn't even mention it. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable or weird about it or anything. Very kind. So this is in the key of C. If you like C.
Yeah. Let's try it.
This is one I wrote for my mom. My mom was the piano teacher when I was growing up, which means every kid in the neighborhood learned how to play piano except for me and my sister. And I have her piano. She passed away a couple years ago, and I have her piano that she had when she was a kid. And I wanted so bad to write a song for her on this piano, and I will. But I just haven't done it yet. So I wrote her one on the banjo, which is almost the same thing.
Yeah.
This is called 8x10, and what made me start thinking about it was realizing all the things that I do because that's the way my mom did them, and I never questioned it. There's actually my favorite joke is this it's probably a Reader's Digest joke. There's this new bride, and she's preparing a ham for her new husband. And so the husband brings home this ham, and the new bride cuts the ends off the ham and sticks it in the pan, and the husband's like, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham?" And she's like, "I don't know. My mom always used to cut the ends off the ham." She's like, "I'll call her." And so she calls her mom. She says, "Mom, why do you cut the ends off the ham?" And her mom's like, "You know what? I don't know. That's the way my mom always did. She always cut the ends off the ham. I'll call her." So the mom calls the grandma. She says, "Mom, why do we cut the ends off the ham?" And her mom says, "Well, because your dad would always bring home a 14-inch ham, and all I had was a 9x13 pan." Pretty okay. I don't mind being out of tune myself, but inviting Will to play with me, it feels a little, okay. In the still and silent morning, that's when I miss you most. Cardinals welcome in the sunrise. It sounds so sweet, I'd spread it on my toast. And I put syrup on my cornbread. I like cheese on apple pie. It's the way you always do. I never thought to ask you why. Lick your thumb to thread a needle in the wind when cutting cards. Find that thing that you love doing. Then work hard, work real hard. beside a friend. There's a candle lit beside you. Blue eyes dancing in the flame. There you're staring at the camera with your Mona Lisa smile. It's the way you always did. I never thought to ask you why. I miss your cool hair on my finger, your voice along this call. Trying to remember every single blessing. I got your pictures on my wall. Trying to remember every single blessing. I got your pictures. One more time, do that. Great job. Great job. Thank you. That was beautiful.
So much
Love
fun.
that. Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, Lori.
Laurie Turner.
Come on
Yeah.
up here.
To the mic.
What are we gonna do? Let's see. All right. Yep.
So if you hear any harmonies in
That's right.
either of these songs, Susan, please
Pop up.
jump.
Okay, all right.
I might adjust the mic.
Will and I have known each other for a long time, but we used to play some music together from time to time, but we stopped for many years because we were both doing other stuff. We just started up about a week ago. So this is cool.
Only like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start. I'm gonna just check the sound check.
Really?
And I'll jump in. Yeah. Okay. So it'll
Okay.
take 30 seconds.
All right. So we're gonna do a song I wrote called Peaches.
Okay.
Thanks for singing along with me earlier, those of you who did the walk.
Yeah.
This is so cool to have a mic that picks up several people. I've never done this.
I haven't either.
Never.
Is that
Can you
fun?
hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Tell me if it's.
This is. I got this from the Punch Brothers. Anybody heard of the Punch Brothers?
Yeah.
So they did all kinds of experimentation with several mics, and they realized that one mic is the best, and then we can control our own dynamics organically on the stage, just like classical music, but with a microphone. When you go hear a classical concert, there's not a PA guy, right? There's a conductor, or musicians do.
I can feel you feel.
So
So like
we're
what's
gonna.
here?
Well, you can get closer.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Keep going.
It's kind of bluegrassy.
Keep going. Keep going. You're a little softer, so okay there. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
That's right. This is good. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Just do a little sound check.
I'm such a fan. I'm nervous.
Oh,
because
don't be
I'm-
nervous.
Oh, golly. I want you to play with me.
Yeah. Okay. Sing me a little bit. Oh, we're good. That's awesome.
Okay, hold on. My guitar's not ready. Just a second.
Guitar sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Great.
Peaches, she said, how can it be so long? You've been tangled in your hair, long hiding. Peaches, she said, how can it be so hard to let yourself be found around hiding? I saw you first from the back. Your hair in bound. want y'all to hear the song I played earlier because my sister requested it.
Okay.
So you know it now and you can sing along this
Right.
time.
Oh, good. I can sing too.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I just have to check something. Because I play too hard when I'm nervous. How are you all doing?
Great.
So something about the water.
Something about the water.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 1,000 times for the trouble between us and for my heart. But I love you. I love you 1,000,000 times. And as our love is deep, so are the reaches touched by the care, but also by the carelessnesses. Healed at times, but hurt at times. We ride the high winds, gathered up by the one, bouncing over the canyons in the setting sun. We move into prisms of an ancient light, carving rock with a whisper in the night. Oh, there's something about the water. Oh, there's something about the water. Oh, there's something about the water, and it's holy, 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 holy. Deep currents that stir us, wash the deepest pain. But it's as easy as natural as falling rain. 'Cause we're made of the rivers, and we're made of the skies. We are in the same ocean as storms on high. Oh,
Sweet.
That was beautiful.
All right, we'll do a couple more.
Yeah, let's do a couple
Okay, a
more.
couple more. You do one, and I'll come back.
Okay.
Join you for the last one.
Okay. Why don't you just come up here?
All right. Okay, I'll just stay. Let's see what we got.
He's like, I've played with Lori Turner. I'm done, you know.
That's good.
What a great evening. Happy Halloween, everyone. I gotta tell you, I wish I'd have heard Lori play a song before I started playing to get an idea of what it sounds like, because that sounded great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I would have been more confident in those first couple of songs, because yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
Surprised by it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna play my greatest hit, y'all. This is my greatest hit song. It's my only hit, so it is all my greatest hit and also my lesser hit. I got very lucky back in. So I wrote this song. It was a pretty turbulent time. It was my third freshman year in college, and that's a tough year. What I realize, and I've said this many times, and I hope I will always say it in case I forget. I'm so glad this happened. This song happened for me right at the beginning of my career. It wasn't a career. I was kind of going to college. I was kind of writing songs and singing in the corners of coffee shops up in Missoula, Montana. And a couple years ago, I found a cassette tape that was my first 20 songs that I'd ever written. And this one was number 12 on that. So this was a song that I had written before I knew anything about anything, the music business or really songwriting or anything. And I'm so glad that it happened that way, because I think if I had been writing songs for 20 years and then have this song do what it did, I would think, yeah, that sounds about right. I deserve that. You know what I mean? But it happened so early on. So what happened, in case you're wondering, the song's called Wide Open Spaces. And it's a song that a band called the Chicks, the Dixie Chicks, now they're the Chicks, recorded and put it on their first nationally released CD. And that was just such good news for a songwriter, and kind of gave me a flag to wave as a new songwriter. And it also bought my house, and this guitar, and that van, and
Wimberley?
this shirt. Yeah. I mean, is there anything that song can't do? But I hope I always, that what I just said sounds like I've lost my humility. I hope I always know how lucky I am, because I got lots of friends that are out here running down a music career and traveling and hitting towns and small towns, and they don't have that safety net of an income happening whether they work or not. And I feel really lucky, because the Chicks are on tour. They just played in Austin a couple weeks ago, and I was laying in bed eating pretzels watching Westworld season 1, and I start getting these videos on my phone of my friends that were at ACL watching the Chicks play this song, and they're like, "Isn't it so cool to hear the Chicks do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's really cool." You know what's really cool is to hear the 22,000 people that are listening sing along with it. So anyway, that's enough about this song, but I'm grateful for it. Doesn't know what I'm talking about. Who's never left home, who's never struck out to do this song. We got this phone call, and it was them saying, you know, we've decided to record it. We've been playing it live. We decided to put it on our record, but we got to cut out the third verse because, you know, and I was like, you got to cut out the third verse, man. You can't cut out the third verse. That's my life story. It's a pivotal moment in my life. And they said, well, if we don't cut out the third verse, it's going to be too long to be played on country radio, and you're not going to make as much money. And I said, get that verse out of there. I hate that verse. Get it out of there. I've never liked that verse. Most times when you buy local, you get 25% more, so here is the third verse. As she packs her things, she feels she left something out. Her friends, her family, her dog in this house. She turns around to find her old room bare. Looks at the U-Haul, it has to fit in there. And as her folks drive away, her dad yells, check the oil. That's how they say they love you. Downstairs out the window, she says, I'm leaving my girl. She said it did not seem like that long ago when she stood there and watched her own fall. Go, she needed wide open spaces, room to make her big mistakes. She needs new faces. She knows the high stakes. She knows the high stakes. She knows the high. La 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 la. Well, Taylor, y'all. We're gonna do one more. Probably that's a good place to leave it, but I want to do one more for you if you got the time. I'm gonna play my favorite song. I do like that last song, but this one's my favorite one, and it's one of the only times that I've ever had a song kind of come out all in one piece where I didn't have to really do anything to it. And it's one I wrote for my nephew when he was about 6, and I lived in a little rent house behind my sister's house. And so he would come over, and he calls me Noonie still to this day. He's 26 now, and he still calls me Noonie. And I don't know if it was because he couldn't say Susan or if it was because his mom would always say, Grant, you have got to wait until at least noon before you go over there and wake her up. But he came over one day, and I was working on a song. And if you guys live in Austin, I'm assuming, so you know what songwriters, you probably have had some exposure to songwriters, but a lot of times, if you don't know, this is what songwriting looks like. So it's easy to understand why a 4-year-old would walk in on that and think you weren't doing anything. So he came over and he said, come on, let's go outside and play. And I went to respond, and he said, maybe tomorrow? And my heart broke because I realized I'd probably been telling him that. Hey man, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, you know? And so the fact that he kind of expected that. Anyway, we went outside. You know, I realized in that moment, if I have any hope of ever writing another good song again, I better not miss an opportunity like this to go do something that's worth writing about. And so he kind of shifted things for me right there in that moment, like only little 4-year-old boys can do. And so I came back in, you know, we went out, we played in the yard, we played a game of catch, which between me and a 4-year-old, of course, is a game of fetch. We just ran around the yard and came back in, and this song was fully formed and just kind of came out of the ether. So I really want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting this series. I hope it's not the last time I see you anytime soon. And those of you that I get to see but not nearly often enough, thank you so much for coming out and bringing friends. And so this is called You Came Along. Thanks to Will Taylor for hosting us. And thanks to Will Taylor's mom for raising such a good one. And thanks to Lori Turner for entertaining the entertainment. You came along, a traveling salesman. You knocked on my door until I let you in. There was no telling, I don't want what you're selling, but you insisted I'm happy again. I said I'm too busy, I'm too important, I don't have time to be playing your games. You said you don't look that busy, you said daylight is burning, and wasting it is such a shame. You came along and you had the remedy, something to help me get over my blues. Sunshine and snake oil, blue fades to yellow. I'm lucky that you came along. You spread out your trinkets, baubles and toys, shiny and sparkling the pockets of little boys, and I never knew these were things that I needed up until you came along.
Carlson. Please come see us over here before you leave. Everybody, if you're not on the email list, come and sign up. We've got CDs for your car, brochures. Our next show for is the 23rd of November, the 8th of November for Strings in the Woods, and lots of things coming up throughout the year. So we'll see you soon. Drive safe. Come over to see us over here.
Facebook.